Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it. Greetings, Algo Artisans. Cowboy here, aka Nick, and we're going to take a look at the charts this week. But before we get into it, don't forget, get the free Algo link is in the description. Click the link, give us a real name, fake name. We don't care. Give us your email. We'll send you an algorithm immediately. And with that algorithm, I show you how I create the algorithm, turn it into code using Grok AI, and I show you the tools that a lot of traders use to connect their algos to their broker so they can trade while they're not sitting at the computer. All right, let's take a look at the usual suspects. We have the NASDAQ, USDJPY, EURUSD, Bitcoin, AUDUSD, USDCAD, GBPJPY, and gold. Before we go there, we're going to take a look at the economic data and the announcements this week over on ForexFactory.com. Okay, tricky week this week. Tuesday is Veterans Day. A lot of banks are closed, US, French, Canadian, but there is some British employment data coming out at the beginning of the European session on Tuesday. Wednesday, nothing except for 7:30 p.m. EST. We have some Australian employment data coming out. And then on Thursday, beginning of the European session at 2 a.m. EST, is the GDP month over month coming out for Britain. Now, Thursday is a bit of a wild card, and we have 2 different wild cards this week, but this is the one that has to do with CPI. CPI is arguably the most important data that comes out every month because CPI is what they look at for whether or not they're going to raise, cut, or hold rates. And of course, that's going to tell the market a lot. It can be very, very powerful. It can push the market around and create volatility, but it's tentative because the government is still shut down as of the creation of this video. That being the case, we don't know if this data is going to come out. Usually it is at 8:30 a.m. EST. So my predictions only go out that far. And the second wildcard of the week is not on this page at all. It's whether or not the government reopens. The Senate does look like they have a deal. It might happen today. The whole chart might change, but understand this video was made before that happened, and we don't know if it's going to happen or not. Getting pretty late over there on the East Coast, so we may not see it happen today. Let's move forward here. Again, more tentative data. PPI, same story as CPI. It's an inflation metric. It's almost as important as the CPI and almost as powerful, and it's just as tentative. It would normally be at 8:30 a.m. EST on Friday, but it is now tentative and is pending whether or not the government opens. One more thing is that either of these data could be released whether or not the government opens. These data have been coming out, but they're just coming out a little behind schedule. They may decide just to make the data happen either way. So a lot of wildcards this week. So the charts that I have done are going to be based on no wildcards. It's going to be based on what the algos say, and I'm going to stop the data as of Thursday in case they do get that CPI data out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ has been rallying up strong Sunday open, and that happened because of rumors that the government may reopen here in the US. So this might just push up. I just have some upward movements, possible strong move if the government reopens, pullback if it doesn't. And that's the real trick with a lot of markets. If there is an expectation that there is going to be a reopening of the government, then the markets have that somewhat priced in. And if that expectation is taken away, if it's, hey, we're not going to do this after all, it could actually pull things in a very unpredictable direction. So this week is going to be a lot of headline risk. So we do what we always do. We trade based on the charts and the algos. And if we lose a trade due to news, then we wait until the technical market unfolds again and we go for it. So this is what I see. Lower bound on the NASDAQ is 24,700. Upper bound is going to be 26,400. We have a local resistance sitting at 25,880. Price probably will knock its head on that. Good chance it breaks above or pulls back and breaks above very shortly thereafter. We do have some support sitting at 25,400, and in what is usually a bullish market, price might bounce off that number if price comes down, as I illustrated here. Let's take a look at USDJPY. Now this is a bullish pair, and it may well move up before I've even predicted for it to do so. It is going to have a hard time breaking this upper bound of 154.5 yen, right? That's going to be a hard thing for it to break, but if it does, it's going to also have to negotiate 154.78, which is an older resistance from older support, so old it's not even on the screen. Lower bound, we have 152.80. We're going to always watch upper and lower bounds, even on a very bullish pair like this, because if the news comes out unexpectedly, it can break downwards. Now, I do expect it to head up, and if it can do so strongly, it will break that 154.50 and have to hit that higher area. Let's go ahead and take a look at the EURUSD. This pair has been pretty bullish in the last several days, especially going back to last Wednesday. I think it's going to take a little bit of a break today, tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be pretty quiet across most markets, most likely due to the holiday, but I think it does want to grind up a bit. Eventually, it's probably going to stop grinding upwards, quite possibly at 116.70. That may well happen, but that remains to be seen. For now, I expect slow and up and to the right, just a bit of a grind upwards. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin showing resilience, bouncing off of 98,000 and holding above 101 when it went to test it back at this time right here over the weekend. And so price has rallied up, broken above 104,550, sitting now at 105,650. I do expect some slow up and to the right. It is Bitcoin. Anything can happen. There might be a sell-off, but if there were a sell-off, it probably would have just happened as price did hit some older resistance right here. Price just came up to that. Hasn't really fallen. It has gone down, but it didn't fall very strongly. It just kind of took a break. So I do expect as of the moment for price to either go sideways or sideways and up. Let's take a look at the Aussie. Aussie is short-term bullish. We had a double bottom here, roughly at the 64.70 area, and prices rallied up. Now there are some older ranges I'm looking at, but in the end, I think price will continue to grind up and to the right, as a lot of things are currently doing against the dollar, and may also simply grind sideways. We do have a lower bound, like I said earlier, of 64.71 or so, and then we do have a local upper bound of about 65.62 USD, and those are the areas where price could turn around, but I think slow up and to the right is the order of the week. Let's take a look at USDCAD. Now this one had been really bullish for quite a while. If I back up here, you can see it did nothing but go up. There's a really good chance it's going to need to take a breather and pull back, and the algos do indicate that it may have some quick pull-ups like this. It may have some quick moves upwards, but in the end, it's probably going to get sold off into this prior support area of 139.70. Most likely, if for some reason the news pushed it upwards, your upper bound's way up there at 141.43. I don't see that happening, but it could certainly happen on a week like this. Let's take a look at GBPJPY. Now the volatility is back with the beast. It had been quiet for quite a while. It had been just kind of going sideways, not doing a whole lot for a lot of this year, for at least half a year, but now we're starting to see some days and weeks where price does move quite a bit. For the moment, I expect up and to the right, or just to the right. Very slow grind to the right. It could reject maybe at this 204.25, which is the upper bound. It is also right now at a local resistance, sitting at 203.26 yen. So price could bounce down, but I think it's going to go sideways until it can break that and then head up and perhaps knock its head on 204.24 yen. The next upper bound after that is up at 205.30. Now, if price does break down, we have a good lower bound of 200.36 yen. And of course, we could see a move down to 199.03 if we see a significant bearish event. Let's take a look at gold. It looks like I've been right in that quite possibly 39.80 was the low. It was one of the primary theses I had with gold. Gold just continues to go up. Now, I have it going up rather conservatively. It really could go up much faster than this. You could see gold just simply power up. That does happen, especially with geopolitical events or money printing. We might get that kind of announcement as well. But in the end, I think we see up and to the right at a decent clip. There is a local upper bound at 41.50, and you have a local lower bound at 40.50, right? Those are the levels I'd look at for a bounce or a rejection. But in the end, I think we see all-time highs for gold quite possibly by the end of the year. That is a little under 2 months away, and that's plenty of time for this to happen. All right, thank you for watching. Remember, at Algo Factory, what we do is we help people predict where price is going to go and when it's going to go there. And when you have a reliable way to predict that to a statistical degree of certainty, you have the capability to extract money regularly from these markets. These predictions you see on the show today are merely a guideline. I don't trade based on these per se, but I just use these to know which way the wind is blowing. Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings, 8:30 a.m. EST, we come live on YouTube. For the first 10 minutes, I show everybody what I think is going to happen, and I handle requests. Then we go over to the private Algo Factory Live Lab for our live members to do just that, and for V the Gorilla to give us any kind of intel he gets from on high over in Wall Street, which he does get. In the meantime, if you want to learn how to extract money from these markets, come on over to algofactory.tech. An easy way to do that is get the free algo right here, links in the description, and that'll show you how to find us, where to learn, how to do what we do. We hope to see you soon. Again, this is Nick, Algo Cowboy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. EST, as tomorrow is Veterans Day, so we'll be taking the day off of Algo Factory. Thanks again for watching.